So let's talk about this show for a minute. I meant to review this way back. When it first came out, I was like, okay, I should check that out, but I was busy with some other things, and so it was a little delayed. I'm like, sweet, I watched the show, time to review it. Did the review, and then other things got in the way, other reviews for movies and stuff, so it kind of got put in the background, and then I forgot about it. I think I accidentally deleted it. And then Luke Cage came out, and I have actually restricted myself from watching Luke Cage until I do this review. So that will be coming eventually, but for now, let's talk about Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is Marvel's second Netflix show, their first Daredevil. I've talked about a lot on this channel, reviews for both season 1 and 2, and spoiler reviews. I love that show, eat it up with a spoon, rub it all over myself. Best thing MCU or Marvel in general has done. It's better than all those movies. Civil War, that's nice and cute. Daredevil's better. So I had high expectations for Jessica Jones, but I didn't know anything about her. Unlike Daredevil, I knew a little bit. Blind guy. There was a Ben Affleck movie about it. I knew enough. This, I went in completely blind. It stars Krysten Ritter as Jessica Jones, Rachael Taylor, Darville, David Tennant as the main villain Kilgrave, Carrie-Anne Moss, Will Traval, Mike Colter as Luke Cage. We'll be getting to his show soon. And this show lives up to all of Daredevil's high expectations because it is as good as Daredevil. This is, again, the peak of the mountaintop. Marvel, their Netflix shows. I haven't seen Luke Cage yet, so I can't say for sure, but pretty much Jessica Jones and Daredevil, it beats everything Marvel's doing. Especially more than like what Sony was doing with Spider-Man and Fox with X-Men, but even like Disney's Marvel, the MCU, all those movies. I love a lot of them. The Captain America Civil War and the Winter Soldier, the Avengers, all those things. Easily, these shows are better than them. In my opinion, you can disagree. But you know what? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'll take these more street level, gritty, more R-rated, adult-themed Marvel vigilantes. I'll take that any day over huge stakes of the planet will be destroyed for the umpteenth time. There's random, generic, usually very shitty villains. Maybe a sky beam. Planets at stake. All that stuff. I'll take these over them any day because they're so much more satisfying, entertaining, better made. They got more to offer. This one tells the story of Jessica Jones. She's a PI, but she also has some superpowers. She's in, what do they call them in the MCU? Enhanced people. They're superheroes, okay? She's got some superpowers, but she's a PI. She lays low. She doesn't want to be out there like some jackass Avengers running around in spandex. She says it herself, more or less. And she gets tangled up in a mystery, a web of hate, deceit, violence, anger, stuff like that. There's a bad guy, Kilgrave, and he's very bad. And he's involved in some bad things that happen to some people she knows, friends she's trying to protect people, stop this bad guy. And the show basically is a study of abuse, both physical and mental. The psychological abuse Jessica Jones suffered at the hands of Kilgrave, and physical things like that, how it affected her, changed her as a human being, her outlook on life, how she interacts with other people. Yeah, that's what the show is. It's very mature. It's not just, like, I love Daredevil, but this, even more than that, this is even more mature. It's more, it's about this specific character, Jessica Jones, her struggle, the psychological abuse Kilgrave does to many people. It's more than just, yes, I'm Daredevil and I gotta kick a lot of ass. There's less of that. It still has some of that. This, even more Daredevil, is about characters, is about people. It's very mature, adult, dark. As I said, it's all about abuse and stuff like that. Really disturbing elements that the show delves deep into. I won't spoil it because I think if you haven't seen it, you're apprehensive, you should definitely check it out. The show has so much to offer. First and foremost, as I've said, adult themes, interesting stuff, an interesting story that feels way more mature than anything the MCU does. And much like Daredevil, it also has way more interesting characters. Really, Jessica Jones, I'll take her over a lot of the MCU heroes. She is so interesting. She's a bitch. She's very unlikable in certain aspects, but still, I very much enjoyed her. Yeah, she's an asshole to so many people, but she has reasons. You learn about her. She's very interesting. You get involved in her story. You're very invested in her as a character, and she's fantastically portrayed. Krysten Ritter, I knew her from Breaking Bad as the one junkie meth head or heroin addict, whatever she was. She messed up Jesse in that show. I'm like, I don't like you. But in this, I liked the first episode. I was like, I don't know. And then as the story kept going, I'm on your side. I liked her. She was super charming, even though she was an asshole. But she's got attitude. She's enjoyable. She's fantastic. She's like an onion. She's got layers, much like an ogre. And then we got her interactions with all the other people she knows. Like her crappy ass apartment. She's got people that live next to her that are constantly, they're bothering her. She's bothering them. She's got another one that's a junkie. She's got her best friend she's trying to protect from all this nonsense. We got Kilgrave, the villain of this. A high bar for villains that Marvel for Netflix, and the movies will never top him, but as far as Netflix shows, he is the high bar. David Tennant as Kilgrave, my God, this guy is good. He is another one. He's very layered, he's very interesting, and I was so into him as a villain. Like, I like Jessica, but this dude, equally challenging, just badass, hilarious, incredibly charming, and so many times just a fucking dick villain. It's funny because my brother had watched the show and he talked about how he's like, I don't like Jessica Jones, but Kilgrave, I was rooting for that guy the whole time. And it's understandable. That guy has a quality. He charms you. He gets you on his side. He has a way with words, a way with his mouth. That's all I'll say, because that's pretty much the truth. That's what it is. But Jessica Jones, I still loved her. I loved them together. They were fantastic. Her interplay off a lot of people's fun. Her and Luke Cage, very good. Luke Cage isn't in this too much, but like setting up for that show is like, I want to see him get his own show, because Luke Cage also very, very good. But her and Kilgrave, that's where so much of the magic of the show happened. It was so interesting. As more and more, each episode, we're getting a little bit more of the backstory, how they became these broken people, all the abuse, like stuff like that. Very interesting. We got a great, badass, tough, take-no-shit hero. We got an awesome villain, and everyone else is really good too. This has a stacked cast of great supporting characters. Like I said, the annoying people that live at our apartment building, the brother and sister, the twins, they're a small little role in the show, but they work really well. Where their story goes, very interesting. Her junkie neighbor, also, I was very intrigued in his story. All these little interactions, her best friend, they're all, it's just, I'm so into it. This story, like I said, TV shows, they get more time to flesh out characters, dig deep into relationships, how they interact with each other, their interesting stories and backstories. I love it because all the characters are really good. No character felt like, I wish he wasn't in the show because he just kind of wastes time. Like, everyone felt important, necessary, and it felt like a treat to have them in the show. I enjoyed having them there. A great stack cast of supporting players. The show is incredibly well directed. It's very atmospheric, much like the Daredevil show. This is a street level vigilante on the streets at night, New York City. It's got great atmosphere, tone, like I said, dark, gritty, grimy, violent. This show at times, my God, these Netflix shows I love so much better. They're so violent. They're so fucked up at times. And it's organic. It fits very well with the tone of this show. Everything about it, incredibly well directed. When we get action, you know, there's a moment or two where it's like certain superpowers get used and it's like, okay, maybe the effects, because it is a show, the effects won't hold up as well as if it wasn't a movie, because they'd have a bigger budget. But overall, the action, the effects, the drama of the show, the heft of it, the weight it carries, so much more superior to anything in the MCU. It's right up there with Daredevil. Don't make me pick between my two children. It's too hard. But I love Jessica Jones. I loved everything about it. I loved what it did. I love the story it told, the way it told it. Super into it. I was into it. I fell in love with it. You know, they recently, I don't know where it is down there, they released Daredevil Season 1 on Blu-ray. Give me the Jessica Jones Blu-ray. I want it. It took that character. I had no idea. I don't know what I'm getting. And it brought it to me with adult storytelling, mature themes. I love it. I love Jessica Jones. I would give it an A+. I think it's fantastic. It brought the aesthetic I like in a way I loved it. Definitely treat yourself to Jessica Jones. Comment below, tell me your thoughts on the show. Now we got Luke Cage on the horizon. I got some things to catch up on, other movies for best and worst of the year, stuff like that. But Luke Cage, that's my next show I'm going to dive into. Can I live up to these expectations of these two shows? Daredevil, Jessica Jones? I have no idea, but I hope to love it as much as I love these ones. Really, it's just like, keep the winning streak going. We'll see how that turns out. Comment below, tell me your thoughts on Jessica Jones, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.